We've all had that one person, the one who's hot and cold. One minute they're all over you, the next they vanish into thin air. And somehow, that makes you want them even more. So why do we fall for people who don't fully choose us? Why do we chase love that's always just out of reach? Today, we're breaking down the psychology behind it, the anxious avoidant trap, the craving for validation, and how to finally stop falling for the unavailable. You know that rush you feel when someone gives you just enough attention to keep you hooked, but not enough to feel secure? That roller coaster is what psychologists call intermittent reinforcement. And it's the same principle that makes gambling addictive. You never know when you'll get the next hit of validation, so your brain starts chasing it harder. It's not love at that point, it's dopamine. Every text, every compliment, every crumb of affection gives you a little high, and then when it's gone, you crave it like crazy. That's the cycle that keeps people stuck in what's known as the anxious avoidant trap. Here's how the anxious avoidant dynamic usually plays out. The anxious person craves closeness, reassurance, and emotional safety. The avoidant person, on the other hand, values independence, control, and emotional distance. So what happens? The more the anxious partner reaches for love, the more the avoidant partner pulls away. And the more they pull away, the more the anxious partner panics and chases harder. It's a perfect storm. Both people are activating each other's deepest fears without realizing it. The anxious person is terrified of being abandoned. The avoidant person is terrified of being consumed. They're both longing for connection. They just learned opposite ways of protecting themselves from pain. So why do we crave love from people who don't give it freely? Because deep down, our nervous system confuses familiarity with love. If you grew up with love that was inconsistent, sometimes available, sometimes withdrawn, that's what feels normal to you now. Your subconscious goes, "This person feels familiar," and your body mistakes that familiar tension for passion. And when someone withholds affection, your mind turns it into a challenge. If I can make this person love me, then I'll finally feel worthy. But what you're really trying to heal isn't this relationship. It's an old wound. Let's break this down even further. When someone is emotionally unavailable, every bit of attention they do give you feels like gold. It's rare, unpredictable, and charged with meaning. So your brain assigns it more value. This creates what's called a validation loop. You start tying your self-worth to whether that person chooses you or not. The less available they are, the more anxious you become. And the more anxious you become, the more you chase. And ironically, that chasing often pushes the avoidant person even further away. So you end up stuck in a dynamic that feeds on itself. You feel anxious, they withdraw. You chase, they pull back more. Sound familiar? Here's the good news. You can absolutely break out of this, but it starts with turning the chase inward. 1. Recognize the trigger. When you feel that urge to win someone over, pause. Ask yourself, am I seeking love or am I seeking validation? 2. Rewrite the script. Remind yourself, their inconsistency doesn't define my worth. Your value doesn't depend on someone's availability. 3. Build emotional safety with yourself. Start giving yourself what you keep trying to get from them: reassurance, attention, care. When you learn to self-soothe, you stop chasing external validation because you already feel grounded within. 4. Get comfortable with healthy love. Sometimes what's unfamiliar feels boring at first, especially if you've been addicted to chaos. But calm love isn't boring. It's stable. It's peace. It's what you've actually been craving underneath the noise. Here's the truth. Falling for the unavailable just means you're human, and your nervous system has been wired to chase what feels familiar instead of what feels safe. But you can change that wiring. You can teach your body that love doesn't have to feel like anxiety or waiting or guessing. Love can feel calm. It can feel easy. It can feel mutual. So the next time you feel that pull towards someone who's hot and cold, stop and ask yourself, am I chasing love or chasing my own healing through someone else? Because the moment you stop chasing the unavailable, you make space for someone who's actually available. And that's when love finally stops being a chase and starts being a choice. If this video resonated with you, hit that like button, subscribe for more relationship psychology, and let me know in the comments. Have you ever fallen into the anxious avoidant trap? And what's one thing you're doing to break it? See you next time.